everyone, welcome to OG Chat. This is Vlad Greenberg. I'm the owner of Organic Grill. Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant in East Village, New York. We've been around for 20 years. And I'm here with my friend, Lauren Purcell.
Hi, Vlad.
Hi, Lauren. How are you doing?
I'm good, and I don't have a restaurant, but I have a very good beanie weenie recipe that I'll share with you later.
I know, and I'm looking forward to try it soon. And guys, welcome to our series. We call it Behind Closed Doors. As you all know, we had our OG Talk podcast that we were shooting in a restaurant, and under no circumstances we decided to surrender. So we are continuing our OG Chat Behind Closed Doors, and we're doing it because life changed so much for all of us, and we are trying to adapt and cope with it. And again, under no circumstances we want to lose the connections with our friends and community members. And we want to introduce you our good friend Keith. And Keith is working in movie industry, and we want to know how he's doing.
I'm doing great. I am really doing, I think, a lot better than a lot of people are doing. I am enjoying every moment of this. The bad part about the death and the sickness is very horrible, but I'm really just making the best of my situation and just trying to take care of myself, really trying to better myself, eating healthier, reading more, just becoming a better person. And that's what I'm just using this time for. So I'm doing pretty well in a pretty chaotic time, in a pretty strange time. But yeah, I definitely miss your food, I'll tell you that much. I really do. That's honesty.
It sounds like you're good at maybe living in the moment, would you say? And giving up things you don't have, being a little zen about things. Do you think that's how you're handling it?
I think so. I'm very lucky and fortunate for this platform, Zoom. I'm in a 12-step program where immediately when this happened, this started for me, and I was connected to people all over the world, and was able to hear how other people were dealing with it and able to sort of figure it out. So I'm definitely living in the moment and just, yeah, very grateful that I'm not sick.
Do you think the 12-step program has helped you? Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's, they say you put the drugs down and you start working on yourself. Whatever your drug of choice or chemical, to be mood or mind altering, no longer taking those. But then after that, it's all about really trying to be a better person. It's really not about every day I go in there or talk to people saying, I want to use drugs. No, it's really about going why did I do that? Why did I want to be, numb to life? And it really just starts helping me. And no doubt about staying connected to especially during times like this, because I could see somebody sharing about how they're so afraid or how they're so paranoid and vice versa. And some people are having a lot of problems with money. Some people are stuck with their families and their husbands, and they're going crazy. And, people in Spain, all over the world, you see them, everybody, but they're being honest and talking about it. And talking about it really, they say what grows in the dark dies in the light. So if you say it, you're able to kind of look at it. The book of Power of Now kind of makes you think about your thinking. And just being connected to a lot of people helps me sort of step out of my head, to not freak out, to be in the moment.
Yeah, that's kind of actually why we started this little mini series, everything you just said, because we wanted to connect with people and be in the moment. So it's good to hear you say that.
Yes, knowing you for a couple of years now, I know you worked on big projects on setting up movies for production. You'll say a little bit more about it in details, but I know you kind of grew on a career ladder and were involved in a bigger project, how you feel now that you kind of disconnected with it? Do you feel like you're vulnerable, and knowing your kind of previous history, do you feel that you're vulnerable, or you have now skills and coping mechanism to go through it?
To cope with this, what's happening.
Is happening with, yeah, would it, God forbid, trigger some of the things in you when you're nervous, and in other ways you would just turn to your drug of choice, for
Oh
example?
no, no, that's why they say you stay connected to a program, and they say there's only one thing you got to change: everything. And I did. And basically try to change my thinking. So, I'm human, and what's great about what you guys are doing is because when we talk about this, people can go like, oh my God, I'm not alone. And I'm thinking the same thing. And you're not crazy, and we're not. We're just human, and our mind, sometimes it's our biggest friend and sometimes it's our worst enemy. So being able to talk about it with other people who have gone through what I've gone through or how I'm feeling, it's really weird because sometimes in like other programs, they talk about other people who are not doing what we're doing, working on ourselves, or in a 12-step program, they call them like earthlings or civilians. Because the truth is like, we're really trying to work on ourselves. And we're not really worried about what's going on out of the world. But what's most important is that I really never, our minds are crazy. It works against us. You see something in the news about what's happening here. People have been calling me thinking I'm going to be, that I'm stepping over dead bodies to go to the grocery store. The news has really freaked people out. But being able to be in a place like this and see other people dealing with it, we're all going through the same thing. I think talking about, so I don't think anytime, if I ever have this feeling of being scared or anything, that I try to talk about it and share it with other people, especially having my brother, and I go to your restaurant. It's a great place for people like John Joseph is there. And like, I could talk about everything. And I think that's really what it is. It's very important to just talk about it. So I really never go down that path, and if I do, I try to talk about it and try to, figure it out.
And obviously, we all know John, and we know how much you took of his books. Tell us a little bit.
Oh my God. The weird thing is they say in our program, it's attraction, not promotion. And I want to walk around with a shirt that says, read this. Because Eddie, my brother, thank God, he always influenced my music and everything that I watch in films and books that I read. Sometimes things I would have never read, like crime stories and detective novels. But he turned me on to PMA, Positive Mental Attitude. And this is a book John Joseph wrote. And I have one that he signed for me. And it's amazing because the book, he was not talking about like, hey, I know all this stuff. He was just sharing stuff he learned in his life. And it just, because a lot of bad things happen to him and a lot of bad things happen to me and to everybody. Bad things happen. But instead of sitting in it and going like, oh, I was abused as a child and no one of my, it's like, you know what, strap on and let's enjoy this life now. I mean, it sucks that bad things that happen to me in my life. It's horrible. But I can't sit and make it what it's not who I am now. I could better myself and be a better person. And that book rocked my world. And even in health, you know,
So
because
you would say that before you would just use it as your excuse. There is so much things happen to me. That's why I am the way I am.
well, I think that's a very common thing. And I see it in other people a lot, which is, people have been abused. Like I lost my father when I was very young, and Eddie helped change my diapers and worked to get us food on the table. And he was incredible. We lost our sister. I lost my twin brother. And instead of being just being sad about it and saying, oh, poor me, we try to celebrate their lives and embrace it. And John talks about that, about like really, instead of just saying poor me, to just, grab life, because, this might be it. And Eddie says, EKG, our life is like an EKG machine. If everything's the same, you're basically dead. Life is up and down. It's good. It's bad. I mean, it really is important to not just live my life looking through the rearview mirror. It's about really just, embracing and just understanding and learning from what bad things that happen. And John's book kind of helped me see that, not only being in a program, but able to go like, wow, this is really, yeah.
And Lauren is so excited about what you're talking about that she can't even say a word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I love it. I just am wondering, because I feel like there's probably people listening who are like, I want that. I want his mindset. And it's probably taken you so much work. What is a good first step if you're like, I want to be able to accept these things, but it's really hard, or I want to be able to live in the moment, it's really hard. What's the very first step if someone's really, really far away from where you are?
I would say the best step, if you're far away, pick up PMA Effect. It's all right there. It's not preaching, it's not a Bible, it's just John sharing his experience and how you can, that's a really simple step. I think, and no doubt about it, talk to people. How you say first step is kind of open, a big question, but grabbing that book, I just can't, there are books like The Power of Now and The Four Agreements talking about presence, but John touches on every one of those things in that book. And
I think it's a really good tip, because that's something that literally right now people could go on a book website and buy the book, and that's a first step that you can do right now and read a book. That's something that we can all do. It's not even too difficult. That's really great advice.
It is an amazing book. And I'm not getting paid, or I'm promoting it because it has it's helped me deal with whatever comes my way. I'm very, very lucky I got that book and read it a couple of times, maybe 3 at this point.
And you mentioned you're eating well and healthy. What are you cooking?
I am. I'm not cooking. I'm blessed that there's a place called D'Agostino's. Now, it's not organic, but it's all fresh food, and there's never a line. And I walk by those people with at the, what is that store that everybody shops at? I can't remember, Trader Joe's. And there's lines of people. I walk by those people and go to this beautiful store that's very inexpensive, and they have options for organic. And I've been making a lot of salads. Eddie just made me an incredible salad yesterday.
And for those who don't know who Eddie is our good friend. He's a co-host and I would say main person behind OG Talk. Eddie Brill, comedian. Eddie is an older brother for Kiss, and you should see the relationship between those two. They're very, very close, and they're a big support system for each other. And Keith, how did you become vegan? What was precipitating it?
Well, it's really, Eddie went to some program or some place in Florida, and I think it was called, come on, it's on the tip of my tongue. It was just an amazing experience he went to in Florida. And
he went to
Hippocrates, yes. And they not only showed him how to eat and made good foods for him, but he took classes. And then that inspired him to just start reading more. And he would, when I was drinking soda, he would go, that's really bad for you. Or if I would eat a burger, he would explain to me. But I read a book that was Meet Skinny Bastard. It was the Skinny Bitch was the women's version, and Skinny Bastard was for men. And it was the funniest book. And Eddie, of course, turned me on to that. And that really explained a lot about meat and milk. And it's kind of gross. Like, I smell meat now. The last time I tried a burger, it really disgusted me. And I thought, watching those commercials, because they're very convincing, like, I love a Wendy or something like that. And when I tried to eat that burger, it was disgusting. It tasted like it smelled like something that.
Yeah. Do you like the Beyond Meat burgers?
You know what? I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, but how it's made, it's very controversial. It's really not that good for your body. But I think it's a good, like there's a place over here called Marty's V Burgers or something like that. And they do a great job. It's all vegan and it almost tastes like a Big Mac used to taste. And there's no meat in it. It's all vegan, all plant-based.
It's funny because those Beyond ones, I'm a vegetarian because I don't really like meat, so I don't really like them, but I'm so glad they're here for my friends who crave meat. I'm like, okay, this is for you. I just love that option is there, hopefully getting more people to take a day off meat or a meal off meat.
Yeah. And it's funny, I've seen commercials for the Beyond Whopper, and people who, it tastes like meat. But I had a friend who never ate meat in her life. And people would say, oh, it tastes just like chicken. Oh, it tastes just like a burger. And she would say, I have no idea what that tastes like. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's interesting. But I love that there's an alternative, that it's healthy. It's definitely better.
And I'm curious, what do you think is happening to your industry? Like, what is going on? Do you get any instructions? Do you get any updates from your union, from your co-workers?
Yeah, the union contacts me via email all the time on updates and how to talk to representatives about compensating us being out of work. The production, the companies like Netflix and CBS have been very supportive in helping people. They came up with funds. Netflix really helped me at the end. And this is what I saw a picture of. This is what the possible future of COVID-19 sets look like. Everybody's in a hazmat suit, and masks. Doesn't look good. It really doesn't. I'm assuming that we're not gonna be at least starting up for another year, at least to 21.
You can say a little bit more specifically, like, what do you do? What kind of work?
I pick things up and I put them down. No, I point lights and I lift heavy cable. So one day I'm here and the next day I'm here. Like one day I'm the boss and one day I'm working for somebody who I hired. And it's an amazing business. I love what I do. It was my brother-in-law, Bill Clare, got me my first start on a show, Law and Order, and showed me a lot about this. And it's really about just supporting the director of photography. Usually the director says, with the director of photography, he'll say, I want this shot, and I want to do this. And the director of photography goes, okay, and then he talks to the two heads, which are the gaffer and the key grip, and they set up the lightings together. The colors, the softness, how good the actors look. The key grip and the gaffer have very important parts, but they just work together to do it. Everybody's got a job to do, camera department, but I'm more up, I guess you could say a crew member. Sometimes I'm lifting and wrapping dirty, heavy cable, and sometimes I'm pointing at guys going, hey, go pick up that cable for me, please, So, the union, I'm very lucky, and I'm grateful. I count my blessings every time I've gotten very successful. I don't know what I stepped in, maybe being honest and a good person and very experienced, because I started on a show, Law and Order, with my brother-in-law. And though everybody from the beginning until where I am now were training me or showing me how to do it. And when it came time for me to do my job, I shocked myself. I couldn't believe that I knew as much. So I've gotten very high in as far as I could, which is the term an electrician on movie. I'm a crew member, Sorry, I hope I answered the question. I was just like, I just noticed the chat. And then while somebody else say something funny.
Guys, I'd like to say thank you to Keith and thank you to Lauren for joining us for this great session of OG Chat. And please, everyone, check our episodes of OG Chat, check our episodes of OG Talk. We are on Apple and Google and YouTube. We would need your support. We would love you to subscribe and rate us and write reviews. Please send us DMs and tell us what we can do better and who we should invite more. And for my co-host, Lauren Purcell, great job as usual. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Keith. Guys, stay healthy, have a great day, and stay safe.